Alright, see you downstairs.
Complete the square. I don't think how to do that because it's with numbers it'd be a little bit easier, but
Yeah, that's the same thing. Completing the square isn't too complicated. You just basically need to go through the quadratic and help spit it out for you. But if they don't give us numbers, I don't know how to complete the square.
Yeah, I don't remember.
just complete the square by adding, because A and B, that's, you have to pull something.
Wait for this one.
If I add something, let's see. Because I mean, you can find the x-intercepts. You put it in a quadratic equation. That's what you're saying. The y is just a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
Because if you put it in there, I mean, it's just x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, all that over 2a. So I mean, that could be the x-intercept, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, yeah, I'm just like, how do you complete that square? Add 4. Can you just put 0 in for x, you think?
Maybe.
That's how you do with a linear. But with this one, you have to complete the square in order to find what the... So it'd be like x plus something squared in parentheses, or no, x plus something in parentheses squared. And the a in the front plus something plus c. But yeah, you put a 0 in for the x, it'll just, y will equal c. So the y-intercept could be c. I don't know if that makes any sense, if you think that could be the right answer. That makes sense, or?
I'm trying to think about it. Maybe.
Shoot, wait, maybe. Yeah. squared. Because I think the x-intercepts are just the quadratic equation, because there's nothing really you can do with the rest of it, you know? You're solving for x.
Yeah, x equals the quadratic equation. That's what I was thinking too.
I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense.
Y.
Same.
Because, like, I mean, that's solving for x, technically. You just, though the y equals, you have to set that to 0 for it. So maybe subtract y? I don't know.
Okay, yeah. We might need to figure that one out later, or
Yeah.
okay, we can just move on to the next question, though, for right now.
Okay.
So the next question is, where did I put that? There it is. Not that. Is what needs to be done to the function f of x is equal to 2x raised to the fourth, and the next, and the next, and the next. So this is a polynomial equation, and the only way that these really work to be able to use a rational zeros theorem is that you need to also have a number at the very end that is a whole number that doesn't have like an x attached to it.
Like creating coefficient. It can't be 0. There has to be something. So
Yeah, so it can be anything other than 0, pretty much.
yeah.
We just
Plus,
need
minus.
we just need a number in there that's not 0 somewhere. That's just a constant number.
Yeah.
At the very, just the very end there.
Yeah.
You can't,
Factor out an x.
So it could be like 2x raised to the fourth minus 5x raised to the third plus 6x squared minus 15x plus 1. And that would allow you to use the rational rational zeros theorem. But without that constant number there, you can't use that theorem at all.
Well, what if we did, I mean, what if we take out the x? Because then it'll end up with 2x to the third minus 5x squared plus 6x minus 15.
Yeah, so if you did that, basically you just need to somehow put in that whole number in there. But I think if you take out that x, then it isn't polynomial anymore, because you won't have the going down in order from to the fourth to the third to the second to the one to the not having an x.
I think no, it still works. It still works.
It might still work, yeah, but I think the main thing is that you just need to somehow get that whole number in there, and that would allow you to do it.
Gotcha.
That still works. Yeah.
Yeah. And then for B, we got those answers written down for what they were. I think it was what, 0, 5 over 2, and plus or minus square root of 3i. I think it were the numbers.
Yeah.
It's written down. I have them written down here somewhere. I just lost the paper. And you had a pretty good way, Kevin, of explaining question 3, like what's the differences between the x-intercepts, roots, zeros, and factors.
Yeah, so the x-intercept is just the point where the line crosses the x-intercept and y equals 0. And same thing vice versa with the y-intercept, where it crosses the y-intercept and x equals 0.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Roots.
Yeah, this one root is.
Yeah, roots and zeros are the same thing. They're just the value. They're the value of. They're the value of. There it is. The variable. That will.
Yeah, the value of x that makes it, that zeroes it out pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the root or 0. Is that root or 0? Yeah, they're the same thing.
Yeah, they're the same thing. I'm not sure about factor, honestly, though.
Remember what it is.
factor.
Factor, factor. Yeah, I can't remember what the factor is.
Are factors like the coefficient, like the number in front of the variable?
Might be it. Let me think. I have to look through my notes.
I'm looking at the textbook trying to find it. It's so hard to navigate.
Yeah, I think what you said is right. That feels right. I think that's what I have written down in my notes, is that a factor is that number that's in front that you multiply another thing by.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be like you're multiplying this by a factor of 2, you're multiplying it by 2.
So 2x.
Yeah,
The factor
and
2.
the factor would be 2.
And then, wait, is that?
That feels right, but I don't know if that's the same thing for basic math and this, or if there's a difference between the two. I'm trying to think. I'll look through my stuff. I think that's right for factor. I think that is just what's the number you're multiplying stuff by. But that seems easy.
Looking it up now, and I think the factors, because you factor out. I mean, you complete a square, you get factors. So, like for example, like x. Let's see, some example. It's like x squared minus 2. Well, actually, or x minus 1 squared, like x minus 1 be the factor. I think. I don't know.
Factor.
Remember.
Yeah, so I think a factor is so you'd be like, you have x to the 4th minus 16. You need to find the factors of that. and you end up factoring it out until.
I guess yeah, the factor yeah, be the things that you multiply to get that.
So like the factors of it are like x minus 2 minus or times x something else.
Yeah.
So what were they? There's the factors, the roots, zeros, and intercepts.
Yeah.
Essentially, factors, you can find the x-intercept through a factor, right? So you factor it out, you get like x minus 1. That means that this x-intercept is 1.
Yeah. That sounds right to me.
Let me look. Okay, yeah. So x-intercepts where it passes the x-axis. Roots and zeros are aren't they this? It seems like it's kind of the same thing, you know, like
Yeah.
They're about the same.
because roots and zeros. I mean, it's just like the root of. You got to factor it first, and then that gives you. I mean, you get the factor, and then you have to set it to 0 to find the root, and then that is the x-intercept.
Yep.
Oh, it says if there is one.
Yeah.
Do you think there is a difference? I mean, there's a difference between all of those and a factor. I mean, technically, the only difference is kind of like how they're set up, their format more than anything else, because they're essentially the same thing.
Yeah. I think that, like we said earlier, that there isn't a difference between roots and zeros, but there is a difference between roots and zeros and x-intercepts and factors.
Yeah, I don't know. They kind of sound. I mean, when I look at it, I looked it up and was looking at kind of like what I had in the notes stuff. It looked like it was the same thing. Because like x-intercept, of course, is what x equals. The roots are also. I mean, that's essentially what that is too. When you factor something out, you're trying to find the roots, and the roots end up being the x-intercept. I don't know. Yeah. What do you guys think?
I think that's right.
That sounds right to me. Or about as right as I can tell is right.
Okay. So we already have 2 done, right? How to?
Yeah, we got 2 pretty well solved out. It's just one that's confusing. But
And I think I don't know. With 1, I just when I'm looking at it, I can't. I mean, the only way you can complete that square, because nothing else works, is just put it in the quadratic formula to find x.
Yeah.
You get the 2 x-intercepts, but then to find y, I mean, the only way that I can think of to find y is just plug in 0 for the x's, and so that'll cancel.
That's what I was.
Mhm.
For the y-intercept.
It's like y equals c. I don't know. I mean, I don't. That's probably seems too easy, but I don't know. Just because it doesn't make any sense. You can't really complete the square that way.
Yeah, at least that's what I feel. That's what it feels like to me whenever I'm looking at it.
You get 0 for x's and you'll get y, but
Yeah, if you put in
Yeah.
0, that's all you're going to get is zeros. That doesn't really help you out too much.
Well, if you put in the 0 for the x, then it's a. It would be a times 0 squared, which is 0, plus b times 0, which is 0, and then you just end up with c, and so y equals c. Does that make sense? I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of.
I'm just scared it might be too easy to get the y, but that's the only way I can think of to get the y.
What's that?
I feel like it's too easy to get the y that way, but it's the only way I can think of.
Yeah, I mean,
to get the y.
I mean, if you complete the square, that's one thing, but how do you complete the square?
Or y.
The only thing with the first part, A, when if you use the quadratic formulas, it's like y equals something. I feel like
Yeah.
you'd have to do something with that y. But I guess if you plug in the 0 for the y to get the x-intercept, that'll. Okay, yeah, that makes sense actually. So you plug in the 0 to find the x-intercept, put it in there, and then solve for it. Put it in the quadratic equation.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that makes sense. Actually, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
So just want to put that then. Just say like x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4a, or ac over all over 2 over a.
Yeah.
And then for the y,
Y
just equals c.
Yeah, y equals c, pretty much.
Yeah.
No, it seems like a trick question.
Definitely what it feels like. But I mean, that's the only way that I can see how it is because they don't have any other numbers in there. There's literally just all variables.
I mean, if they had done like ax squared plus 2ax plus like a squared. I mean, you could do it that way, but or even if it didn't have that on there, you can complete it by adding on something to complete it. But that's the thing is, there's nothing to add on because like there's nothing that'll come together to be ax squared plus bx plus c. So
Yeah.
yeah, so let's just put that down.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I think that'll do it then for this video. We'll get it written up and post that quiz, I guess, online and hope for the best.
Okay. So for that one and the second one, we said factor it out and then find it that way. And then for the third one, are we saying it's all pretty much the same, or?
Third one sounds like they're similar, but there's those subtle differences between them and why you use them.
Yeah. I mean, essentially it's the same answer, but it's just the way you get them or how they're organized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's different. I'll give an example maybe.
Yeah, because it says that we can use examples.
So. But.
Okay. So I'll stop the hangout now.